And now finally we come to the last sign of the zodiac, the Pisces, and the place for them is the monastery. It is this areas of seclusion and areas where you might either go to the greatest heights or you might be towards the lowest depths. Because the Pisces, it's ruled by Jupiter, or in modern times ruled by Neptune, which is a very watery kind of planet. It is represented by two fishes, and the fishes can either go upstream or downstream, and that is really what defines the Pisces. The stage of life is near death, and I will be talking about these Pisces, the fishes swimming upstream or downstream all the time, in different ways, because that is how you define, or it is what ultimately will determine what the Piscean does in life. They can be alcoholics, or they can be the people working for Alcoholic Anonymous. They are the people who are taking care of these alcoholics. They are nursing them, they are serving them in some way or the other, at great personal sacrifice. So they are capable of both. They can be someone who is so spiritual and so mystic that they want to reach the highest, in spirituality, or they don't even have that ambition, but they will go towards that. Or they might just spend their whole life feeling completely lost and doing nothing, and thinking of this idealistic world that doesn't exist anywhere but in their dreams. That also drives them sometimes to alcohol, usually even more than drugs, but that could also happen. Or they can be they can go the other way, where they can be like, instead of being lost, they actually find themselves amidst something which is much grander, much more cosmic than they were. They are extremely impressionable. They can actually become any sign they want to for a short period of time. Some of the greatest actresses have come from this Pisces, because it's not like they are pretending. They can actually become that. That is a level of their empathy, or just their sensitivity, and their boundaries are so porous. It is like they are so porous that and they can take in so many things that they forget who they are, and they can get too overwhelmed. Or if they are a very high conscious soul, they can sense that unity and connection to everything around. So you can see how these two fishes, they go about. They can either be a martyr, and they can make this huge sacrifice for others, or they can just wallow in self-pity. They can be compassionate and sympathetic towards the causes of the world, or and they can work towards it, or they can be so overwhelmed by that they want to escape life. And escape is a big thing. They can escape into their imagination, into drugs, into alcohol, and or any other way, watch movies on a binge, just because they don't want to face things. Or it can have such strong devotion and faith that it can move mountains. However, they do lack initiative, and they do doubt themselves usually. They are in such an idealistic world. They are almost they are more than any other sign almost not of this world, and they can find themselves most in poetry, in music, in astronomy. One of the greatest examples of a Piscean who made it is Einstein, and everyone knows how much he struggled. He was also, his mom taught him piano, and he really excelled in the violin. He understood music much more easier than he understood words and speech. And he struggled, he was dyslexic and he struggled with learning the convention, and yet he went way beyond. Um, sometimes they are extremely gifted and talented, but sometimes their gifts are hard to access because, but they are there. And um, it is really for them again, they can get really moved by other people's issues. They will always be there to give a lending the soft ear, listening ear, and a shoulder to comfort. In fact, they are the only ones, like if you put them in a group of children, or they go to the orphanage, they will not gravitate towards the brightest, most dynamic person. They might go to the one who is feeling the most neglected. And that is why you will find them, you will find them sometimes in jail, serving these people, helping them come out. You'll find them in alcoholics places because they want to rehabilitate them, in those drug places, in ashrams. You will, because they do, either they can get too overwhelmed and they can lose themselves, or they can be so called on to work for these other people, even at cost to themselves. So this is so really, if you are a Piscean, if you are a Piscean, then you need to decide, you need to observe, and you need to become aware of which fish you are. See, fishes never will see, they can only see this side, that side, and they usually swim up or down. So it is very difficult for them to have, they don't have a strong sense of self. That comes in Aries. That is why in Aries, if you circle around the zodiac, that is where they develop that sense of self. And the lowest thing, again, as I'm saying with the Pisces, is they can lose the sense of self, but they can get so overwhelmed that they no longer know who they are, what is the direction they are supposed to take, what are their gifts and talents. Huge insecure, huge doubts, huge self doubts, huge, there is no boundary issue, they're completely porous, right? So that can be, but on the highest level, they can, that porousness, that sensitivity, that can, and that compassion can help them really see the inherent unity, the and I think Einstein really wanted to work on the unified theory, like what is it that connects all of us, um, you know every single life, not. And for them, they're they don't just, I mean, when they are connecting to someone, they can become that person. Like, it is so, they understand it intuitively so completely that they can almost become them. So I would say, that is your highest, that whatever you do, find that sense of connection to all life and the unifying thing, something that unifies us. And that, I believe, is the highest of Pisces. You are this amazing, uh, intuitive, imaginative people. Don't lose yourself in daydreams, but really use this very idealistic uh, and open, porous boundaries that you have to really unite people, to unite in the causes. And that is Pisces for you.